Charlie, but this is not being mean. This is being sorry. So learn the difference and go sit down. Everybody take a breath. Yeah, there it is. We were play acting, of course. You know that. Because Charlie was here to help me begin this concept of how we have used this idea of sorry. So, Charlie, you're an excellent actor. Please give Charlie a hand. So, as you observe that little thing happen there, you've seen things like that happen, right? You've been involved in things like that where someone says they're sorry. Are they sorry? No, they're using that as some kind of buffer. It's not that they're sorry. And I know that everybody in this room has said those words more than 1,000,000 times probably. And that what we all are here to learn today is a reframing of this whole idea of how we live in our culture, in our world, and don't abuse this thing called I'm sorry. And we all have abused it because it's become part of our culture. We live in a culture of blame, a culture of somebody's got to be wrong. I mean, look at our political system right now. Somebody's got to be wrong. And you know, some people are blaming one group or one person, and some people are blaming the other person, and none of it's valid because this is not who we are. We're here as members of this community that teaches and practices the science of mind, and our job is to remember the perfection of life. And if we are living that perfect life, how can we possibly be sorry? We can't. Yet it remains a cultural norm. It's expected of us if something doesn't go just right. And what happens is it being expected of us, then many people in our culture just take it on as a mantle. They say they're sorry with every other breath. Doesn't matter. Just comes out. Don't even think about it. But I want to give you an idea of what this thing is, this thing that we're saying. The word sorry comes from the same base as the word sore. The same base as the word sorrow. It's a real downer. It should kind of look like that. And it's not working. So every time we, thinking we're being polite, say, oh, I'm sorry, what we're saying is we're less than. And it's not even asking for anything. It's simply a statement. And you know how powerful the I am is. You know, that was the word spoken in the Hebrew story of Moses that tell them that it's the I am. Well, the I am, that most powerful statement that you can make, followed by the word sorry, which aligns with sorrow and sore. Yuck. That does not help us. That does not take us where we want to go. And think about how it's used culturally. We don't say, I am wonderfully sorry today. We don't say, I am joyously sorry, or I am generously sorry, or I am confidently sorry. No, we say, I'm terribly sorry. I'm awfully sorry. What's the other one I had? I'm horribly sorry. We always attach something even to make it worse. If we really want to make the point. But what's the point that we're making? Do we need to put ourselves down? Or do we need to learn something from every circumstance? And I'm not saying we don't make missteps. I'm not saying we don't do things that we'd like not to have done. We do all the time. And sometimes we think that when we do that, we're actually helping matters. But I have two ways that I've discovered this applies. One came from Rocking Bear, my Native American teacher. You saw his picture up there a few minutes ago. Barbara and I were sitting in circle with him on a Thursday night, as we did for many years, up at the lodge up near Mount Mitchell. And somebody said, I'm sorry. And he looked at us and said, do you know what that means? I'm sorry. We leaned in. What does it mean? He said, it means that if I say I'm sorry, what I'm saying is I'm uncomfortable with the way you're reacting to what I did. And I would really prefer you not do that. And by the way, I'll probably do it again. And you know when I do it again, I'm going to say, I'm sorry. Because that seems to be the answer, right? But it's not an answer. It's not a resolution. It takes us nowhere but down. And people who move down in their lives tend to make the same missteps again and again and again. So I'm sorry actually all but guarantees that the thing that you are saying you're sorry for is going to come about again. You're going to do it again and again and again. And you know, each time you do it, you're going to really, really be sorry. But that's not going to help. So that's not where you're going. A good example of this was being in a grocery store and having a woman with a cart come up behind me and catch my Achilles heel. Ow! Ever had that happen? Yes. And the woman goes, I'm sorry. And I say, but my heel still hurts. I said I was sorry. And on she goes. I hear on the next aisle, somebody goes, ah! I'm sorry. Is that woman sorry for anything? No, of course not. That's not what's happening. So this thing that was supposed to be a nice cultural norm hasn't worked out that way. And it has no grounding in history. Unless you can remember the verse where Jesus said, saith not I, or say I am sorry. He didn't say it. Never came out. Neither did the Buddha, neither did Muhammad. They were not sorry people. They were not teaching their followers to be sorry. Never came up. Now, does that mean that we don't have regrets at times? Perhaps we do. But if we want to resolve those things in our lives, we have to find out a way to move forward rather than backward or downward with our understandings and with our attention. So what we're going to do in our workshop this afternoon is really take a look at that and see how it works in your life. And my guess is many of you can remember times in your life where you weren't feeling really good about yourself. And you had that almost as a mantra, I'm sorry. I certainly can. I remember when I was in business, I had a successful oil field business in Texas, but there was a time when it started to slip, and my relationship, my wife and I were not doing well, and my life did not look so good. And to cheer me up, my next door neighbor took me to play tennis one day. And we went to the local tennis courts in our neighborhood, and he was a pretty good tennis player, and I was a hack. So we got out there, and he said, we're just going to hit the ball around. We don't even need to count points here. Not important. I said, great. So we got out there. And of course, every time I missed, I yelled out, I'm sorry. And it got so bad as it went on and on as we played. And we probably only played a half hour, but it felt like 3 days to me. So where I remember throwing the ball up, and before I actually hit it with my racket, I said, I'm sorry. It was out of control. And my life tumbled into a mess along the way with that. And what I ended up doing was leaving. My wife left me. My business closed. I moved to California and got on a plane and went to Sydney, Australia, where I found my first spiritual community. And it was a brilliant experience. I had an amazing teacher. And one day we would do weekend events. We didn't go to church on the weekend. We did our things during the week. And on the weekend, we would go out and do outings. So somebody, because tennis is a big deal in Australia, they decided everybody said, we're going to go play tennis. And I went, I don't think so. And my teacher, who happened to be nearby, came over and he said, you know how you can always win at tennis? How's that? He said, by owning the tennis experience. So he said, here's what you do, is you go out there and the racket that you've got, you own it, it's your racket. The balls, all the balls, yours, you own them. You own the net, you own the posts, you own the ground beneath your feet. Both sides of the tennis court, all the way to the center of the earth. You own the air above that tennis court, all the way into the heavens. You own the racket of the person you're playing against. You own their clothing. You own everything. Go do that, see what happens. Okay. I went out, and when we got out there, I was playing, I forget the guy's name right now, but he had one of those wonderful English Australian names. And I said, give me just a minute. He knew what I was doing. So I kind of collected myself and I did all this owning. And I said, okay, let's go. He was a good tennis player. And he was gentle in the beginning, but I was returning everything. I was returning everything. And so he kept getting better and better, playing harder and harder with me, and I kept returning everything. And we had probably 20, 30 people out there with us, and they had all gathered around watching this. I was perfect. And when we said we were done, they all cheered. And it was such a win for me. There was no sorry in any of that. Saying you're sorry, whether you know it or not, is an element of putting yourself down. Now, what could you do instead? You could say, well, I apologize. Guess what that means? That means you're defending your position. That literally is what apology means, to defend one's position. Don't do that. What else can you do? You can learn a different way of interacting with people when you make a misstep. And that's what I'm going to teach you this afternoon. So I hope you come. Hope you have time. We're going to do it over in the large classroom, and right after you have your cake. And do I have news for you? Victor has brought cheese today. So we are going to have a lot of wonderful, tasty things to put in our mouths, and then come join me over there, and we're going to look at what the psychology is behind this, and how we can change our behavior in a good way. But before I finish, the last thing I want to ask of you. This is a story I heard secondhand, so I don't know exactly how it unfolded. But I hear that someone here at the center who was relatively new said to someone else, I'm sorry. And they were told, we don't say that here. The person left and never came back. So that's not who we are. The way we deal with this, when someone says, I'm sorry, ask them what they're sorry about. And tell them they don't need to be sorry, that they're loved here. And that we see them as perfect, so there's never any reason to say you're sorry, only to learn from what we did together. And in that way, we're including people and making them part of who we are, which is what this center is about. Always. This is a good run. Thank you, Rocking Bear, for that silly little conversation that changed my life. Maybe this afternoon something will change in yours. Thank you for your time. I love you.
John. Come up. Is anyone here for the very first time? If you're here for the first time, raise your hand. We just want to say hello. Hello, welcome, welcome. Hello, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And this is a card that says,
over here.
Welcome home. And if you want to know more about what we do here, because we do really cool things, then give us your name and address. If you just want us to let you know about things by email, just check the little email block and give us your email address. And Nancy puts out this wonderful e-news every week. And then you'll be able to come to these fantastic things we have. But I want to say welcome to a place that changes lives. Welcome to a place where miracles are an everyday occurrence, where people's lives get better and better and better, where they heal, where they let go, where they change, where they grow. This is the most amazing place I have ever been. So I'm so glad that you're here. I trust that you'll come back. And now I'd like to invite our prosperity acceptors to come forward. Take out what you're going to give. Hold it in your hand. And what I know is that each of us is completely supported by all of life. That we are loved beyond our wildest dreams, that there is more than enough for us to have whatever it is we choose to have and do what we choose to do in life, to be who we have come here to be. I know that heaven and earth come together in concert and harmony to lift us. I know that all is well in our worlds. And I know that our love for this center is demonstrated in part by what we give. And so this gift today goes to keep the lights on and open the doors so that not only we, but so many thousands more can call this center home. And I am deeply, deeply grateful for the shoulders upon which we all stand today and that support that we offer generations to come. And so as we give this gift, we speak our affirmation together aloud. I freely and joyously give from the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth, knowing my gift goes with love as it touches and blesses the world. And so it is.
Blessings are flowing, the gift is unsealed, life is unfolding, love is revealed, with open heart and open hands, I give and receive in love. Blessings are flowing, life is unfolding, love is revealed, with open heart and open hands, I give and receive in love. Blessings are flowing, the gift is unsealed, life is unfolding, love is revealed, with open heart and open hands, I give and receive in love. I give and receive in love.
And I know that everything in these baskets is blessed. Because whenever we give anything, whether it's large sums of money, whether it's a chance, whether it's a hug, whether it's a smile, whatever we give, we go with the gift. There is only one. And so that which we are went with this gift, whether we put something in the basket or whether we give in so many ways to this center. I know that that energy of love and light of God as us poured forth from each of us. It fills up this room from the floor to the ceiling and all between the walls. This air is rich and blessed with God as us. And as that energy moves in our lives, it does stuff. So right here and right now, it touches us. It blesses us. It awakens us. It heals us. And then we cannot keep God locked up in the room, so out it has to go to travel this world, to touch, to bless, to awaken and heal every being on this planet. Always here and always now, touching every one of us here today, everyone who has ever been here, and everyone yet to come. And so it is. Thank you.